Hey folks, welcome back. Thanks again for joining us. So this presentation is really just about having an open mind and enjoying these captures. There's some commentary throughout, but the bottom line is these things speak for themselves, and as always, leave us with more questions than answers. But we hope you enjoy it, and if you do, share it with someone you know. Thanks again. Take care. All right, from right to left, going across the screen, and this one's pretty easy to see because of the color contrast between the two. The white cloud backdrop is advantageous here. This is 4K, 60 frames per second, and relatively far away compared to a lot of our captures. The distance that that thing covered in that amount of time is pretty impressive. And it was in more than 6 frames, obviously, but we took 6 screenshots, and this is what it looks like in those. And there's no real method or rhyme or reason to which ones we picked. Just tried to pick ones that look different from one another. But the one thing we can say is that none of them look like insects and none of them look like birds, at least none that we're aware of. And again, above all, is the performance factor. I mean, that thing is just moving. All right, from left to right. And this is slowed very significantly. Like we slowed it and then slowed the slow. And this is what it looks like a little faster. And it's cloud hopping. Whatever it is, it seems like it's just going from one cloud to another at a crazy rate of speed. Yeah, but look at the bottom. You see, and you should recognize that because we just watched that one first. This is from the same recording. And if you look at that kind of blue funnel, that's where you'll find it once we pan out a little bit. You see a cloud hop, and then the black one goes underneath it, and they're both moving at this crazy rate of speed. Yeah, and here are a few of the screenshots from that aspect of the same video. I don't know about you guys, but this just doesn't look familiar. I don't, if someone shows me a picture of this and says, "What is it?" I'd say, "I don't know." But here it is at real speed. Here's one of the more traditional ones. This one's way closer, obviously, and at real speed. I mean, it's literally a blink and you'll miss it type of situation. Not figuratively. It's like you will miss it if you blink. And I mean, that's just fast. And look at these, it's just so different. So some of you may remember this coming from the bottom left up and checking out this plane and then just taking off back to the left again. Same thing with the bottom left coming across and then elevating up to cockpit height and checking it out and then just leaving again. We've shown you those a couple times, and this one was more recent, but it's all kind of the same idea, right? These things checking out the aircraft. Well, we've got another one. Look at this. And it's interesting here because this one didn't really approach the helicopter so much as it waited for the helicopter. It was hovering over this chimney to the right of the chimney, and then it goes up and allows the helicopter to go under it, and then kind of follows it from behind before dropping down. I mean, just the fact that this behavior is recurrent and it's clearly a theme is just perplexing. And then, you look at what it actually looks like, and then you got to back up and ask yourself how it's even staying in the air and moving around to begin with. So, if you just look at the rotor speed, you don't need me to tell you that this is slowed significantly and that these things are moving very, very fast. Then you look at it in real speed, and it's like there's no chance anyone's going to see it. And this is one of those where it's a little closer and the altitude's not as pronounced. Um, but, 3 frames. And the good thing about it only being in 3 frames is that we can look at each one of them, right? So um, the top is the left, the middle was the middle, and the bottom is the right. This one's in here because it looks to me like this thing is on the other side of the chopper. Looks like the chopper's in between the camera and whatever that thing is. Um, you might disagree. That's just what it looks like to me. These next two are all about performance. Watch straight down from right above the helicopter. This thing basically did like an M. That's barely perceptible, right, in real time. But then you slow down and zoom in, and they're bouncing around like ping pong balls. And then you take a screenshot, and that's all you get to work with. You watch that in real time, and you are quickly reminded why we do these things slow and zoomed in first, right? There's no way to see any of that unless you've watched this version of it first. This is another one that's slowed down quite a bit and basically imperceptible to the naked eye. I mean, and this, it's an airplane, right? And then this, I don't know, something just zooms in under it. That's the other thing, too. What if you were looking up in the sky and just happened to see that? I mean, literally in a nanosecond. And then what are you going to do with it? Tell somebody, I think I saw something? I mean, there's nothing to do with this stuff unless you happen to have it on camera. All right, so we're going to see this one more time. Here it is, but now keep watching on the bottom left. I know. You're like, wait, what? But yeah, I mean, they're flying in tandem. I don't know about flying. They're moving in space in tandem. Uh, I don't know what else to say about it other than it's familiar because it looks to me to be the same thing that we recognized flying under this stealth fighter, and which was also the same thing we happened to capture that was splitting up and changing shapes here, and then we caught another one sort of just disappear out. And then we saw this one doing the same thing, and then it just took off to the left at great speed. Yep. I don't know what these things are, but if there is a prosaic explanation, I'd love to hear it. I really would, because it's not something I've ever seen before. Here are some screenshots from that last capture, and this is interesting too because they seem to morph. You know, they're like changing in shape. Somebody called them or referred to them as blobs before, and I don't disagree with that. And they seem to have this weird like plasma bubble around them where they're changing and leaving this video echo. I don't know. Anyway, there you go, folks. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. The skies are full. And, you know, luckily we have technology now that allows us to slow down the environment up there and take a look at it and zoom in and slow it down to our brain speed. You know, it's sort of like the opposite end of the continuum from time-lapse photography and watching grass grow, or using a microscope to see, you know, the microbial world. Like, it's obviously always existed. We just finally developed a tool that allowed us to see it. And I sort of feel like that's what these cameras do now for us. But again, it's just a matter of wrapping your brain around the fact that these things are occurring above our heads and apparently under our oceans too. And yeah, so anyway, hope you enjoy. See you on the next one. Thanks again. And feel free to comment and share it. All right.